just doing a normal old-fashioned event. Hello, everybody. We are back, and we're doing the old-fashioned way. So come
For
over
real
here
this
and
time, lads. For
for
real.
real, for real,
Mm-hmm.
real. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'll go through and I'll research everything and figure it out.
Hell.
But all right, we got a few more people
Mm-hmm.
coming in. All right, guys. So now you should be able to hear us just fine. This is going through standard YouTube, so it all should be good. And we'll just do this setup. Oh, it's been a while since I've done this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so tell us how you can hear us now. But I see I Jordan is over there, and Joshua, of course, Bob the Pope, Brad from
W-
Pencil for Life.
We
We see.
heard.
Okay, we see. Hello, everybody. Says Thunder. Oh, yes, that's very excellent. Nice to have him back in here. All right, guys, just tell if you can hear us. You should be able to. I mean, this is the most standard way to do things. So, anyway, so let's just start interacting with each other here. And Thundara, how you doing today, man?
I am fantastic, actually. I am doing wonderful. How are you?
I am great, dude. It's my family's home. Right now, they're all off doing stuff, but they're back from the universities visiting, and we got, of course, New Year's is a big deal for us, so we're
Yeah.
going to have a lot of fun.
Uh-oh. Watch out. Watch out for the bugbear. Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 boom.
Absolutely. And how you doing, Todd? You're working on getting a guest for us today. How's that coming?
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. Just looking to see who's on. I am and asking a few people.
Oh, I see. No, no, no. Just keep at it. Unfortunately, we can hear Booster says Draken. So there you
Oh,
go.
Draken wants to be my mortal enemy, but I'm sorry that is taken, buddy. Argos Creations is my one and only mortal enemy. You're
Really?
yeah. There is he is the only one for me, you know? My heart has only enough room for so much hate. And I'm sorry,
Uh,
Draken, I'm taken. You have to move on.
all right. So, guys, do us a favor, and the same thing I said before. Go ahead and share this out, please, and let everybody know what we're doing. Um, so join us for the show, I guess. All right. So that was uh, not a good start, but that usually means good things. That means we're going to have a great show. Oh,
Does it? Does it?
it does.
Oh yeah.
Positive thinking.
Oh,
We
I hope
haven't
so.
had any. We haven't had any actual technical difficulties in quite a while. I don't know what that was, but I will fix it, guys. Don't worry about it. But nevertheless, let's see who else we got in here. We have in Denali. How you doing, Denali?
I'm doing fantastic today.
Oh, that's good. You sound very enthusiastic. Mhm.
Absolutely. I'm trying to hold my laughter off this whole technical glitch.
Well, you know those things do happen. But let's go ahead and get right into it, and we'll go over and say hello to Mr. DeWolf, the chairman himself, and let's see what he has say today in his address.
Well, yes, thank you, Chester. And there's one thing that you can go ahead and rest easy about, and that is that you're not going to have any technical difficulties on any other FanSpeaks on the main show for the rest of the year, right? Because we're at a new year, right? We're at a new year, and I want to take us back just a little bit because a year ago there was no FanSpeak. It also means there was no booster for us to listen to as well. But it also means that there was also no EVS. There was no talk of pi. There was no cross-examinations, and there was no drawn and quartered. It has been quite the year, ladies and gentlemen. And it has started out with Comicsgate being just a small group, right? This movement that was going on that very few of us even knew about. And throughout the year, things changed and things happened. There was momentum, there was movement, and it changed not just within that area that was called Comicsgate, to which they were discussing comics and what that meant and whether they liked them or not. There was a lot of us who were not even involved. We hadn't been involved in comics in a very long time because of what had been going on with the art and the story. But we're here now. And this is a growing movement. And for the past couple of months, I think it's been about 6 months for us, going back maybe 8 months for more people, a huge explosion happened. Huge explosion in the whole concept about independent comics. Starting with Comicsgate, independent comics movement happened. Now we have a plethora of artists and writers and people coming about. This is something new, and it's going to be happening into the next year. Next year is going to be totally exciting. There's so many things that are going on, and I just want to wish everyone a good new year, a good comics year, and 2019 is going to be something different that many of us did not even have fathom the idea about what was going to happen this year. And now next year, it's going to be even more remarkable. Thank you for being with us through this time of growing our technical difficulties. And we thank you for proceeding with us into the next year. And, but of course, that's just what I'm saying. What are the fans saying? Welcome to FanSpeak.
Amen, brother. All right. Well, that is going to jump us right into it. The first thing we're going to do today is we're going to be doing some news, actually. And I'm going to have to do this a little bit different than I usually do, but that's okay. And it won't look as cool, but that's all right. Let me come over here and share with my panel here. And there we go. Present to everybody. All right. So you guys should be able to see that just fine. Yeah, now Denelli, this is our first little bit of news we're going to get into today. And why is Cyborg in the Doom Patrol show but not in the comics? Why, Denelli?
You mean why not in the Titans? Because of what the thematics of Doom Patrol is, which is heroes that got their abilities through horrific experiments of mad scientists, and Victor, which is Cyborg, was one of those. Not intentionally, but his whole origin is that he got in an accident that killed his mom and mangled his flesh, that his father had to replace it. So because of that, thematically they say, well, since all the other Doom Patrol had traumatic experience with gaining their powers, he naturally fits in there. But
I see.
Yeah, so that's what they're saying, why he's in there, giving that
I see.
rationale.
So this Halloween costume that he's wearing disfigured him horribly. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought that the
I
theme was that
mean,
they're so disfigured and ugly that they can't be considered normal superheroes.
Oof.
No, I didn't mean that as like an insult. That's what a lot of Doom Patrol is like. Like your Beast Boy, Robot Man, Negative Man. They're so strange looking. They don't. Yeah.
That's very nice paper cutout that they put on Cyborg.
Yeah,
It
and
is,
I can't get over the way he's looking there. He was chilling. He's just like sitting back, going, "Hey, I'm just wearing this thing on my face, but I'm cool." Instead of, as you scroll down to this picture, this guy, on the other hand, is going through something a little bit different than the guy in the photograph.
Yeah. Well, I think my opinion on this would be the Screen Rant is full of it. The reason they have him in this is because of diversity. My diversity. That's what it comes down to. They
Cyborg seems to be the poor bloody diversity hire these days, man. He was in Justice League just to be the diversity hire in the New 52, when they could have just gotten John Stewart to be Green Lantern if they wanted a diversity character so badly. The one everyone likes in the superior Green Lantern, especially to Hal Jordan.
They could have. But,
yeah.
Yeah, because he's robotic.
Big word.
Yes,
Big word. Yeah. Because he's a robot.
We need to diversify the cast up with robots.
Yes. Even though there's one called Robot Man.
It is an incredibly sad costume, though. I mean, it just is, man.
But none of those costumes on the Doom Patrol show are winners, really, except maybe Negative Man. But Robot Man looks plastic to me. It's silliness.
It looks really bad. Yeah. It
hey,
looks
kids, it's Brendan Fraser, who used to be
like he's just wearing a regular shirt that looks cyborg.
It does, doesn't it? It looks like he's wearing a T-shirt, right? That's why I said Halloween costume.
He is. He's wearing a T-shirt over all his cyborg stuff.
No, it's funny.
He's gonna
And
play
of
some
course,
Overwatch. That's all it looks like.
yeah, but just remember though that if you don't like his costume, that means you're a racist. Just
Well,
understand
yeah,
that.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mary Sue. Thank you for
Thank
continuing to
you.
exist and stir the pot needlessly.
All right.
What
You're
about
all
his
idiots.
expressionless face?
Yeah. Well, we've had a few moments to get ourselves retracked into this second stream here. So let's see who's joining us today. Of course, we got I Jordan over here, Joshua. I mentioned Bob the Pope Yo, which is always cool to see that. That's a great name. Indy 500 fan is in here. I'm a fan of the Indy 500 as well. We got Ryu Ken is in here, and he says, "Hola." Well, hola to you. Paul Hassett is here. Hi, Paul. How you doing? Of course, Draken again. He has to come in, and he says, "Unfortunately, we can't hear Booster this time." Yeah, I know. It's troublesome.
Oh, you're gonna hear a lot of me, boy.
Yeah. And Pencil for Life says, "Is there sound?" I do believe there is. Uh, Weather Wizard is here. Yay. K Blonde. First time for everything. Yeah, well, we've had troubles before, but it's been a while. I guess it's just the end of the year had to end that way, the way it began, maybe. We have a Pope Fire in here, of course. We have in here as well. I saw some new faces down here. Um, we have Jimmy. Jimmy's back over here. Hi, Jimmy. And you should wait for Pope Fire. Pope Fire has a link. She's available to come in anytime she would like if she has any love for us. You know. Anyway,
We do
let's
have
move
it.
on.
We see how it
Any.
is.
We see how it is. Yeah. Let's move on to this second very, very just amazing story. Amazing. Amazing. Go ahead.
Marvel
What?
confirmed that Loki was mind controlling Avengers.
Oh, what crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course he was, because he's pretty.
Let's take away his character motivation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's such crap.
It is.
Don't you know it's going to be inclusive, and probably because he's going to be the anti-hero for the upcoming Loki mini TV series that's going to happen on Disney Plus. So they can't be supporting a villain.
I mean, he was a pathetic villain in Avengers anyway. He was getting beaten around like a bloody rag doll that whole time.
Well,
And
he
he was
was
just not
killing
threatening.
Joker?
It was too goofy to even be threatening, right?
No, I liked it.
Oh yeah. Okay, there you go.
Rubbish.
Boosters
he's-
are wrong.
He's
That's what
dead
it comes
though.
down to.
Okay, well that's fine. But he's dead though, right? They killed him in Infinity Wars. Oh, spoilers. That was in the first scene. Okay.
Yeah, literally.
But literally. Now this is really dumb. Now, why do you think Marvel would say this? Of course, Denali already gave the reason because they want to turn him into a hero or an anti-hero. But that's nonsense. Loki is the bad guy. He's always been the bad guy. I mean, yeah, he works sometimes for his own betterment with heroes if it suits his needs. But this is a greedy, maniacal, conqueror. That's what Loki is. And what he did in that first Avengers movie is exactly something that Loki would do. It was perfect.
Well,
Why would you
Chester,
change it?
this time around, this is how you can love Loki without hating yourself.
Yes.
Oh, is that what it comes down to? Oh, goodness.
Yes.
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 The very first Avenger comic, Loki was the bad guy. He was the reason the Avengers got together at all.
He's always been a bad guy, dude.
This is just absolute poo, and it's just because some Tumblrite pretty girls think he's a pretty boy. They're like, I don't want him to be a bad guy. You're dead. It's silly.
Oh, dude, you should have seen it. Yeah, go ahead, Thindera.
They made him too sympathetic, and it's
Maybe.
he is kind of a sympathetic. It's tragic why he's a villain, but he's still a villain. He chooses to be the bad guy.
He does.
And you can't just.
And we liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take some of his agency away by telling that his actions are being, uninhibited by the Mind Stone. That's basically what you're saying. You're saying you're taking that away from him and breaking him down from the character he was, which unfortunately he was a villain, but that's why he worked. Now you're making him. Go ahead.
May I throw a wrench in the works, please? May I?
Mhm.
I shall. Here's my wrench. If he was controlled by the Mind Stone via Thanos, then why was he walking around wielding it?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's just
No.
bad retconning.
You're just creating plot holes. Leave it be. This is dumb. And if you guys,
bring him back, which we know they're going to do. He's obviously not going to stay dead. Spoiler. They could probably do more movies with him and Thor as kind of buddy brothers, kind of like the last one was, instead of them as enemies.
Oh, that would be awful.
Yeah.
True. And if you guys are interested in the reference that DeWolf was giving a minute about if you can still love yourself for liking something, it's about that Chris Pratt thing we covered yesterday, where because Chris Pratt is a Christian, and that's such a horrible thing, but you like him on the movies because he's so cool and interesting. So it's okay. They gave you reasons why you could love him even though he's a Christian, because that's what it comes down to. It's the stupidest thing. Leave people alone. Let them do what they want. Enjoy your life. It is nonsense.
I understand that, though, that they don't want this guy to be dead because he actually has been like sort of the bright spot of a lot of these movies because he's a really good actor. It was really surprising how well he played this character. This stuff is, I mean, we're talking about you see, like, even Asgard, even the very first Thor, that stuff is not easy. They're in big bulky costumes. They're acting to things that aren't really there because they're on because they're using green screen and stuff. Man, and he just made it look seamless.
Oh yeah,
just beautiful.
It really didn't. When Denali said it took away his agency, first off, I just think that's an amazing sentence right in and of itself. But really, it takes away a bunch more than just that. To say that he's mind controlled takes away later on when you see him and he is trying to ditch Odin and sit on the throne, right? Because he's constantly wanting this. He's as Tony Stark calls him, a full diva, right? When you decide, oh well, he's not in his own mind to do this, you take away part of that, and we like the fact that when he's on screen, he, like you said, he's a bright spot, and he really drives scenes, and you love to see him when he's captured in the little Hulk elevator. He's still owning the moment with every particular character that walks into that room to talk to him. He's got it. He is still in control. And if he is not in control of himself, then he loses the ability to be in control. And it takes away all of his character and all of the fun. So there, Marvel.
Yeah. And speaking of the popularity of Tom Hiddleston, I was at Tokyo Comic Con and he was a guest, and the Japanese girls just went absolutely insane for him. They loved this guy. And it was funny for me because as much of the roar and just panicked desire coming out of these little Japanese girls for Tom Hiddleston, Ezra Miller was so desperate to get some of that attention, which he failed miserably at. But
I would have squealed for him.
I'm just saying, dude. They love them.
I would have just gone nuts.
They love them some Tom Hiddleston. They do. Yeah. But this is dumb, Marvel. Stop it. Moving on.
Yep.
Oh, come on. This is now. Why'd you redo that on me like that?
They're not gonna. They're gonna have bad way.
Oh, just no.
Gesture.
The ice got popped.
What happened?
Oh no!
Batwing.
The battle
You showed everyone the Batwing.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh no!
Yay! Success! Batwang on FanSpeak. Yeah,
Oh
baby.
no! And there goes the show. It's been great knowing you guys.
Thank you.
Demonetized. Banned forever. Oh no!
Have a safe New Year's. We'll see you in another show. Go Speak Fans.
Yeah, George said,
Oh.
no, Batwang. Hi. I didn't. Sorry, guys. I set that up and then it reset itself. But oh well. So what?
Why did you have that up, Chester? What's going on?
It's not me. It's this channel here.
Mm-hmm.
Bleeding
mean
Cool
that
headed
side?
up.
Yeah.
Well, don't put it back up.
Yeah.
Well, it's not up. I shut it all down. So
You need a. Looks like you need a double dipping right there.
Do you think that? Do you think Bleeding Cool's up to something to try and screw with the people who come onto the website on YouTube?
maybe.
Because I would have to commend them for that, as awful as Bleeding Cool is.
Yeah, they might have. Anyway, let's get to the story, please. Go ahead, Danella.
Right. Do aliens land in New York City or something more mundane? So everybody's
Mundane.
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 Monday.
Okay.
Mundane.
Now,
I know it's Monday, but it's
Hoboken Police. Now, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. We were on a stream, and the drone recorded when this happened, and we kind of all went and looked at it. But yeah, that is very interesting. Tell us, Sonali, what are they saying it was, and what are people speculating it was?
It was supposed to be an explosion of a transformer at the Astoria power plant that caused that thing to appear, the light effect.
Whoa! Hold on here. The first thing I'm thinking of is Battle of New York and the Chitauri are coming through. But no, you tell me it's Transformers.
Yes.
A transformer blew up.
Yeah.
They're now here.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah, and this CG is much better too.
Yeah.
I hope Michael Bay will be there to document it all.
The budget on
Was
this
it the
movie
good
must have been
Transformers
insane.
or these dumb ones where all the little pieces and parts move everywhere and you don't know what you're looking at?
Okay. Let
I'm
Denali
thinking,
tell the story. Come on, guys, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
but everybody is thinking Optimus Prime just broke the system. But no, it's the Kingpin. We all know it's the Kingpin with his super collider trying to go through dimensions. Because of course, you know what's happened recently. Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, where all these dimensions are opening. We just got hit because time is relative and stuff.
Yeah, but that's not what they say in the article.
No, they're saying aliens. Aliens.
I thought those were down in the California border.
You know what? It's bleeding cool. I say we disregard the article entirely.
Okay, that's
That's what I usually do.
It is
Oh, it's a
interesting.
flag?
I've never seen this before.
I have. There was one by my old house when I lived with my parents still, and it just straight blew up and lit up the whole sky for miles around.
Look, kids, it's Star Labs.
Oh, Ghostbusters! Yeah,
Straight blew up. So Ezra Miller was not involved.
No Ezra Miller.
Kamehameha, whatever he says.
That's the spirit bomb, Chester.
Wow.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Whatever,
my God.
weeb.
Terminator.
You are a
Go on.
weeb.
This
What a
for
weeb.
days. What
How
about the
dare you
Terminator?
accuse me of this? I just
Is
saw
there a
an
naked-
episode of Transport Z once, okay? I'm not a weeb!
Is there a naked Arnold Schwarzenegger? Is this the Terminator? He's he now in the city someplace?
I don't know. We
I
don't
can
need
go
any
with-
more nakedness now, DeWolf. Don't be wishing for that stuff.
We could.
Almost as bad as
Yes, we can go
Booster.
anywhere.
Yeah, I'm already pretty much naked.
Hold on.
No.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
All right, that's enough.
Okay, I think
That's
Bleeding
funny.
Cool is too dangerous of a website to go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to. No, I just needed to set. I needed to go back at it, and when I relaunched the website, this stream, I just forgot to do it because I was trying to get back here as quick as I could. Nevertheless, let me see here. All right, Jordan says, "Spirit bomb, idiot, and you live in Japan." Excuse me, Jordan. Are we going to have to butt heads, you and me? K Blonde says, "Shame. That's a spirit bomb." As if I would know anything about Dragon Ball.
We're surrounded by weebs, Chester.
I know, dude.
That was Dragon Ball Z.
Is he like a
Where
neighbor
he
of
used
yours?
the
Spirit
version.
bomb.
Oh, these people. Next.
Okay.
What do you guys? Wait, I have a question about Japan. Do you
Yeah.
have your own like Sunday cartoons in the newspaper? And what are they?
I wouldn't say Sunday. Sunday is not necessarily what the way we think about Sunday.
It's called
draw.
It's called
But
Shonen Jobs, and it comes Mondays.
Yeah,
well,
but
no. He's talking about the newspaper.
Yeah,
Um,
in the
Yeah, no, they have a little cute little things here or there, but very very cultural. They're not like what we would have, and they're not interesting at all. So yes,
Well, you have to
but
roll
no.
it out.
I came to a really epiphany about Japanese manga, by the way, and why it works so well.
Why?
It's a creator driven system. When the creator is done with that story, it's done. Nobody's clamoring, oh, let somebody else do it if he doesn't want to do it. You know what I mean? Nobody's doing Lone Wolf and Cub over there because that guy's done with it. Of course, you know where it does happen. It happens over here in the West. So what you have is creators who create a story that has a beginning, middle, and end,
Yeah,
and people love that, and then they're done. Nobody's like trying to. Oh, can we get a Kira 2? We've been waiting for so long. Why? Where is it? It doesn't happen there. It
that's
was a
true.
great story. It's done. It's over, and that's it. So this. The publishers are pushing the creators and not the character. So when My Hero Academia is over, it's over, and they're not gonna like, oh well, it made so much money. Let's just let this guy do it for now. No, that's not how it works.
Except for Yamato and Macross. Right? I keep seeing more Yamato and Macross.
But you're talking about in anime, right? I don't think I've seen it in the actual manga or in their.
No, anime does that. Manga doesn't. No, the Japanese. Matter of fact, I've had many Japanese ask me that exact question. Why do they don't understand the concept of why do Western comic books have a writer creator and then someone else writes it? They don't get it because when
Right.
you have a manga come out that is written, usually also drawn by a single person, right? Now, when they get into something like Shonen Jump or some of these big places, they might have a small team to help with layouts and stuff. But you got to understand, every week you get a new episode of that story, and it is done by one person usually. Basically, all the work is being done by one person, and they come out every week. And now, sure, it's not a 26 or 30 page comic book. It's more like something like 10, 12 pages. But every week that's coming out, and they have a story that starts and ends. And now there are a few examples here, Sazai-san and Chibi Maruko, and there's a few other ones that have been running for an extremely long time. But those are kind of like a sitcom manga, which is talk about family life, of course. And those things have run for a long time. But in general, 99% of every manga has a beginning, middle, and end. And that's the way they run it. And they don't understand the concept of someone else writing and drawing. It's almost like blasphemy to them.
Right, and that's why
Yeah.
it works so well
Mm.
because it's creator driven. It's not company driven.
Right.
It's definitely, then it becomes okay, beyond the creator driven thing, becomes the story driven and the character driven. And they love to know that the character's gonna to begin, he's gonna grow or fail or succeed and then end. And they're
Yeah.
in the story.
That is a
And
great way of doing it,
some
huh? Because no one can
knucklehead-
come along and claim that they don't get the writer doesn't get the character, huh?
That's
Right.
right.
Right. Yeah, and then they
And-
have long shots in the manga as well. They
Yep.
use long shots, and that's what makes
Yeah,
them all so.
absolutely.
Well, the wolf is spicy today, huh?
It puts
Uh,
you right in to the manga itself, like you understand the environment.
Oh, bloody hell.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Just punching and punching, and we got bat
But-
wangs, and we got glitches and all kind of stuff. Someone's okay. Someone's trying to tell me something. I'm looking. I'm paying attention. I'm listening. All right. Yeah, like for instance, Full Metal Alchemist. Um, Now the secondary series that came out, which was absolutely epic and one of the greatest anime I've ever seen, was actually based on the comic book. The first one that came up failed miserably. I mean, really badly. Why? Because it wasn't based on the manga.
Well, the first part of it was based on the manga, but it reached to the end, so they made the
Yes.
original anime. The
That's
second
right.
one,
Yeah.
the second one was more true to the story, to the manga, because the manga at that time was completed, so they just easily adapted it to the second series.
Yeah, exactly. And no, Jordan, no Ezra Miller. No. I put a kibosh on it. We shall not have any of that duck guy quacking on my channel anymore. That guy, God.
Oh, man. We can always use it more, Ezra Miller.
Yeah, all right, fine. This is a democracy, I guess. Yeah, that's a good point about manga. But let's go ahead and move on to this next story here. Denali, why don't you introduce this? This is one that's very interesting to me.
The biggest Kickstarter of the year at $6.2 million is a board game That
My
board game is
lord.
Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon.
Yep. Now, this is very interesting to me because this is where I come from. For the past decade, this is where my world. This is what I've been doing, board games, and this is from Awakened Realms. This is a company that makes this board game, and I have many of their board games sitting in my board game closet. Of course, it's a really good company. This War of Mine, the board game, was absolutely stunning, and this one was a crushing success in the time where you should not be doing crowdfunders, right? This was done in December, right? And
Crazy.
it's crazy money, and that's not the biggest one I've seen. Now they come in here and they say that, but they actually specify it, and they come it down. They said the largest Kickstarter campaign of the year has just closed after raising more than $6.2 million. The project is for Tainted Grail, etc. Waking Rounds. They don't. They say it somewhere here in the article, but they very specifically say it's like the number 2 all time in its very narrow niche is what they do. We've seen
Yeah.
much bigger board game successes than this one. Actually, I've seen a $20 million one. But yeah, board games are kicking butt, and especially on Kickstarter. And the funny thing about Kickstarter for me, and I'll say this and shut up and let you guys have an opinion. But the interesting thing about Kickstarter for me is this: um, they make most of their money off of board games. That's the reality. But if you go to their front page, what do you see advertised? It's all progressive SJW stuff. They push it constantly. But yet, where do they get their money? They get it from right here, board games. And they hardly ever talk about it. Why? I don't know. But that's the fact of it. And I've always thought that was very interesting because the board game community built and made Kickstarter. So you guys go ahead and comment on what do you think about that.
Yes, I agree with everything you said just now.
Sorry, I was busy finishing. No, that is very interesting that they don't promote it more when it's literally their bread and butter.
It is.
I mean, $6.2 million. That's quite a lot. That's quite a lot of money for a board game. And I know board games
It was
are really
built on the ham sandwich.
they're kind of in a renaissance, really.
Yes, they are.
That type
It's
tabletop
golden
gaming.
age. Golden age. Yes,
It's interesting.
But
it is.
one of the reasons why I chose it, not only because you always mention about, coming from this scene of board games and Kickstarter, but that's actual goal that we as this movement of the indie revival are aiming to. Let's get, these crowdfundings up to that much money.
Yeah.
I mean, we did 2 point something $million with just several campaign. Let's try to get one of these. If it qualifies, if it's an awesome product, let's support it and make it so you can't deny the money, you can't deny the numbers, and kind of put our stamp down hard.
That's a good point. It is.
I'm gonna go meta. I'm gonna go meta on this, and it's not gonna pertain to anything you guys are talking about at all. but it came from a studio that's in Poland. Now, I'm reaching here. I don't know anything about the company itself, but Poland is one of the most conservative of all the other European countries. Really, that's there. So I'm not sure if if the rest of them are progressive. They don't have good ideas. They're stuck in the SJW territory and land. I don't know, but yeah, like I said, go a little meta there, and maybe Poland has good ideas and creative people, and they're making good products because they just have a different mindset.
Or in that probably answered the question why Kickstarter are not promoting.
Probably.
That.
Well, Poland is, most of the modern board games we have. I heard someone, I saw someone over here, Nick W. talked about making a joke about Mousetrap. But you have to understand the modern movement in board games is actually coming out of Germany. Because after World War II, they had a law in their constitution that they couldn't have anything, any movies, TV shows, board games, anything like that, have any reference to war, blood, or anything like that. So the gaming industry, which has always been popular with Germans, board gaming, transitioned itself, and they came out with these amazing mechanics for playing board, just really fun games. If you guys, maybe their version of Sorry or Monopoly, like a very basic version, is Catan, Settlers of Catan. Maybe you guys know that one.
Yeah.
But that is the bottom, guys. That is the simplistic little kids game. They get crazy serious, right? And it's coming out of Germany. And then all the rest of the world here in the past, well, I'd say 10, 15 years caught on and like, hey, that's cool. And been making these amazing products and these amazing games with new mechanics. And it's just so much fun. And Poland got in on that and started doing it. Now, Poland has a creator. His name is Ignacy Trzewiczek, and he is the legend of Poland. And he does a lot of great games, a lot of great mechanics. He's a genius. And he got that renaissance going in Poland itself. It's because of him. But yeah, there's a lot of countries that are really getting big into the board gaming, and this is a Polish one. But I'd imagine Kickstarters. We know how SJW they are, which is one of the reasons why everybody's using Indiegogo over here. But nevertheless,
One of
it's
the,
never stopped the board gamers.
One of the other comments Nick W has in here in the chat is about board games making bank. That'll be the next SJW Assault. They've already started that.
It already is, yeah.
Yeah, they've already they go from institution to institution. It's quite literally what they do. But yeah,
They
they've
do.
already started that. They've been infesting like Warhammer and stuff like that.
Oh
trying
yeah,
to get
but they got
sponsors.
slapped out though.
Yeah, yeah.
They got
And
slapped down hard.
they hit
Yeah.
they've already hit card games and things like that. So they've been trying. They've been trying to get into these markets.
Well, I was actually involved in a live stream where I mean I was just in the chat, right? And we were they were having just a at a convention. Gen Con, of course, is the big board gaming convention, and they were just talking about new games, and they were taking questions from the audience. So there was someone running around with a mic and a couple people, and just handing off the mic. And this girl gets up and she says, what are we going to do about having more female creators in the industry? There's not enough. Right. And then one of the guys on the panel was like, if you want to make a board game, why don't you make one? Yeah, but why aren't there more women in the industry? And he said, because women aren't interested in board games or making them. And she's like, yeah, but why? And then the audience started turning on her. And the audience was like, yeah, because, if you want to make a game, make your own game. Don't expect us to make a game for you. This isn't right. And a couple of women stand up in solidarity, of course. And but the whole crowd just is mainly male. They all turned on him. It's like, dude, if you want to make a game, go make a game. Shut the hell up. They literally cried and walked out the room. Literally crying walking away.
Well, it's ridiculous, right? They expect that they have to have their needs catered to. They have to be invited in, right, to do everything, and they can't just, say, "Hey, I've got this idea, and I'm going to come in." They have to be given all of these, I lost track of what
they have to be giving everything on a silver platter from
Exactly.
men, which is hilarious because
Yes,
it's completely
exactly.
antithetical to what they supposedly believe, that women are as good as men. Yet they go to male spaces and demand to be included instead of just including themselves.
Well, and if a woman actually comes into a room, though, I mean, guys and everybody
As
else.
you
would
said
come
that,
up
Wolf. As
and
you
they
said
would
that,
cater
Pokemon
to
Fire
you.
came in.
Hey, what?
That's hilarious.
And if a woman comes into a room and bloody
It stops. And full attention goes to them. Hi, Pope.
we can have a woman's perspective on how awful women are.
Yes, women are absolutely terrible.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
But there, hello, Pope. There were some companies that kowtowed to this thinking in board gaming, and they paid for it. It definitely get woke, go broke is a universal thought. And what happened with this company in particular, with Awaken Realms here, when it had several of these companies, not showing any breasts, there's reducing breast size in the animation. You got to understand that most board games are family games. Now, there are some that are more niche and genre based, of course, but most are family games, right? They were reducing something that was already family based already. right? And you had companies like Awaken Realms here, because they come out and they came out with a game. What was it called? Oh, I can't remember which one it was a response to that, but it was the most audacious chainmail bikini game you could think of, dude. And
Nice.
they made huge money, and that's why they're making big money. Because honestly, this game doesn't look very interesting. It's a mini board game fighting thing. It has a few interesting mechanics, but it's not that cool, really. But the reason why Awaken Realms is making so much money, because they basically just put the middle finger up and said, "Nah, we're going to make what we want." And what you're seeing here with this kind of money they're making, and other companies as well, is the community, the industry saying, us, the people who buy, saying, yeah, no, we support this thinking. Get out of our damn board games and leave us alone. If you want to make something yourself, go right ahead. If it's a good game, we'll buy it.
Yeah.
Now, if I could just put my 2 cents here for like 2 seconds.
You can give 5.
Women like sexy women too.
Yep.
It's only the feminists, and even the feminists will admit to liking sexy women. They just hate things to hate things. So it's always interesting when they claim that it's all women, when the majority of women don't even claim to be feminist anymore.
Oh no, most women won't get near the word. Yeah.
I'll even go one step further and use their term is they like representation. Well, not to get too personal, but my wife is a full figured woman. Let's put it that way. And one of the things she always liked about Lara Croft was that she was large breasted. And it felt like, felt good that there was a character out there that reminded her of her. Well, they've taken that away now, and one of the comments she made is, "Oh man, that was one of my only characters who I actually related to in that sense." So that is a thing.
That's
It's
all your
just-
wife relates to is big titties.
Yeah, duh. That is a thing, and
Thanks,
it's
mister.
ridiculous that they take it away from women like her who just wanted to enjoy a character, an aesthetic of a character.
Well, I mean, it's interesting when you get into it because they're the ones that sexualize women the most because they'll put them down solely on their appearance. They won't look into their character. I mean, to do my 5-second Starfire thing, they've said Starfire was a sexist character for years. And it wasn't until the Anna Diop version where they started liking her as a character. But it's almost interesting because they have no interest in these characters outside of their appearance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh no, feminists are extremely misogynistic, racist, hateful in general. All the things they point at people and say they're doing. This is just guilt being projected from them, right? Because
Yeah.
they are extremely misogynistic. They hate a woman who wants to be a wife and is happy to be the mother, and that is such a truthful statement.
McCrank in the chat says that they don't want to take the risk themselves and they want to weaponize their gender to get men to take the risk for them.
Which is something men do all the time anyway.
Yep.
I mean, it's like a natural state.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But I mean, this is very interesting that Denali brought this up for his own purposes, which he explained, which is a good point. We want this indie revival to get here. We want to see these kind of numbers, and it can be done, as you can see, because you got to understand this game right here. This is like a minimum $100 investment. Actually, more like $150 minimum.
Oh yeah.
And I put a lot more than that into it.
There's some big parts in this game.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I've paid $600 for a board game before.
Whoa.
Seriously, we spend money in the board gaming world. There's a lot of money being dropped down here, especially with war games and stuff, because these are all older people for the most part who have burnable cash and they want to spend it on their hobby.
The sad thing is that's why you keep asking us to come visit you, because you have nobody to play with over there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
now you know.
Rub it in, Todd. You bastard.
Because all your buddies will be like, "You want to do what?
In a
Is there
small village.
swords involved?"
No. All they do
Fishing
is sit on a
poles?
wall with a fishing pole, smoking cigarettes. Yeah, I know.
I love it.
Oh God. But my point is Denali's point is very valid, but this is much deeper point here, because this success of this company in particular is because they put that middle finger up and said, we're not playing your game. And this is the community saying, yes, baby, we love you and we're supporting you. And these guys are making money hand over fist. And to be honest with you, this is going to be sacrilege, and I hope no one I know is listening. their games are kind of ma or so.
Yeah,
They're not really great.
they're not setting the world on fire.
No, they're not. Although this War of Mine is absolutely stunning, but that is coming directly from something. This is not their own creation, but this War of Mine is an amazing thing. If you don't know what that is, go check that out.
The video game's pretty good too.
Yeah, the video game is killer, and that's Polish as well. But my point is, I love Awaken Realms, and I will always support them. This is how you get customers. This is how you get loyalty from your fans for life, is by giving them what they want and not kowtowing to the stupidity of others. This is a perfect example. So thank you very much, Denelli. Good choice, dude.
Yep, no problem.
All right, well, let's move on to our next one. We certainly took a lot of time with that.
Yeah.
But here you go, Denelli. And no Batwing. Sweet.
DC Universe premiere dates leak out for Doom Patrol, Swamp Things, and more.
I'm so mad at you guys. Every time I'm not here, you always talk about Titans without me. Every time. It's like my one thing, and you guys rip it from me.
Because we don't want the stream to go bloody nuclear.
True. But we don't actually talk about Titans. We more mock it, but okay.
You guys talked about Cyborg. Cyborg is my second favorite superhero, and I didn't even get to. So sad.
Cyborg is cool, actually. We like Cyborg.
Yeah, he's the coolest. Yeah. I don't know what they're doing with Doom Patrol, but I mean, it looks better than Titans. But again, that's a really low standard. So.
Well, what about Stargirl?
Have we even seen like the actress? Do they even have an actress for her?
Yeah. I don't know. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. We did talk about it yesterday. Let's see. First posted by Super Bro Movies. Okay, Super Bro Movies. This seems to be an online premiere month. So it's just a calendar. Okay, fine. What do we got here? We got Young Justice Outsiders January. Okay. Doom Patrol February. Swamp Thing May. Stargirl August. Harley Quinn October. Okay. That's it?
That's it. Nothing great. Nothing. Just it shows how vapid this streaming site is.
Great. What do you want, Denali? You want some big hunky guy instead of Stargirl or Harley Quinn or any other woman to take a lead role in movies? Is that what you're saying here?
No, I'm just saying there's not a lot of information.
No, there isn't.
I would like to see Channing Tatum as Harley Quinn. Confirm it, please.
I mean, Harley Quinn from the preview looks pretty good, but again, it's more appealing to women. But I'm not a big Harley Quinn fan. I find that most Harley Quinn fans, 9 times out of 10, are just weird girls that don't really even like comics.
And they probably play chaotic neutral in D&D. Those are the kind of girls who like Harley Quinn.
Goodness
They're
gracious.
the one who shop at Hot Topics.
Nick W over here in the chat says, has DC Warner Brothers released any information about DCU streaming membership numbers? Now, I haven't seen that, but what I have seen here, as I was just about to mention, you see here that the subscribers for a limited time for the first 3 months, you can get it for $3.99 a month. Now, what do you guys think? You think that's going to stay limited, or you think that's going to be the price? Because that's $7.99 they came out with. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. No one's going to pay that, and the reason that we're not seeing numbers is because
idiot is paying that.
You are.
Yeah.
But seriously,
okay,
that's why
Young Justice is the only reason anybody should get this, because everything else on it, from what I've seen, they don't even put like the complete series. Like they advertise having series on there, but like they cut the cartoons off. Like you don't even have. You're missing 3 or 4 seasons from certain cartoons.
Yeah, but do you think this is going to be Young Justice is going to be the Young Justice we know from before?
Yes, because they've got most of the creative team back.
That's good. Doom Patrol looks really silly. They don't have Titans on here. We know Titans is out, and that's very silly. But it could be fun silly, unlike Titans, which was cringy silly. Swamp Thing, I'm cross my fingers on that. Stargirl, if it's cool. Harley Quinn. And if you look, just what we're looking at here, the balance doesn't look so bad. There's a couple of very female-focused things, and you have some other things that are more anybody can enjoy. So I don't know. It's not bothering me any. Actually.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right.
You mean that comics have always had plenty of women in them? Wait a minute.
Oh, really?
That's not what I was told.
Wow, guys.
Well, and here's the craziest thing. And I was talking to Pope and a couple other people about it. the Titans international poster by Netflix looks phenomenally better than the actual poster that they released recently with DC streaming service. And I'm like, that should have been the poster when you were promoting it, not this other thing that we got.
Well,
And the
even
trailer, yeah, and even the Netflix trailer was better than the trailer that we got when it was first released. I'm like saying, they really don't know what they're doing.
Well, it's almost like Netflix doesn't want their money to go to waste. Like that's what it is. DC, I don't know what they were doing. I mean, I know why they made the characters look as ugly as they did. It's really disheartening because for a lot of these characters, this is their first live action incarnation. And to be treated that poorly and to have pretty much the creating staff admit to throwing out a lot of their character, a lot of their core traits, it's disrespectful to not only the fans that got the Titans there, but also just to people in general because this show is terrible. It's not even a good show if you take away the Titans. Like if you went with just completely new characters, it still wouldn't be a good show.
True.
It hurts the characters' feelings.
It does, and I feel really bad for the black peoples because the only black person in the show they made a prostitute. It's insulting.
Chester feels sorry for the blacks. 2018 quoted.
I do. I have
Well-
sympathy.
Oh, bloody
Well, they
hell.
made her look that bad so they could claim racism for any critique they got because they used all the budget on characters that only appeared in 3 episodes.
Yeah, no, they were underfunded, that's for sure. But I love Draken's comment over here. A comic company not putting out the entire library on a network for subscription? I wouldn't have thought that. I mean, they haven't with any other library. Wink, wink, Shonen Jump. That was such a killer move by Shonen, dude. I mean, it was a killer move. Smart.
Oh, that's a massive game changer. That's
Yeah, it was.
what they're doing.
Yeah, it was.
Well, we were talking about this. I was talking to Pope Raven about this earlier. I mean, it is pretty smart to kind of separate stuff because they just did release the box set of Teen Titans in November. So I guess they were hoping they could release season 1. I think it's 3 on the streaming app, and then just
Oh,
sell
you
the
and
box
Pope
set.
Raven are talking now, huh? Okay, I see.
Uh-oh.
Is
No,
it
was
is it
Joshua.
getting
I was
pretty
talking to Joshua.
is it getting pretty serious?
Well, apparently me and Pope Raven are married now, so
Oh my
Aw.
god.
And just so you all know, Pope Raven is a very old man from Australia. Very old.
not an
Older
old
than me.
man from
60
Australia.
something. 60 something.
I think
I thought he was 87. Wasn't that? Or maybe I'm
Oh,
mistaken.
that's right. No, that was Doom. That's Dr.
Oh,
Doom.
Doom.
No,
Oh, yeah.
you know, Chester, you should be worried because I once convinced somebody that somebody couldn't talk to them because they had their throat amputated. I am very, very careful because I can come up with some crazy stuff and people will believe it.
Yes. Uh-huh. Well, I am a skeptic at heart, dear. Don't worry.
I'm gonna go around
no-
telling everybody that Chester is actually trans.
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
no.
I believe
I'd
it.
love to see that meme. More memes about the bugbear. That's great. I love me some bugbear memes. Absolutely. And I'm still waiting for that that one from the other day, Booster, huh?
Hi, Brad.
Gonna be
Hey, Brad.
naughty.
Hey, Brad.
What's up, guys?
We are talking about comic books and such,
I
man.
know.
How you doing?
Fine. Got through with dinner, so I thought I'd jump on. Be your
Sweet,
guest
man.
tonight because Kanan's not here. So, you
Yeah,
know,
well, yeah. What's up with that, man? Where is Kanan, by the way?
I have no clue.
I have no clue either. He was supposed to be here. He had been confirmed with how many times, Todd?
Yeah, multiple times.
Multiple times. Confirmation made.
Let's not publicly shame Kanan. He's like the best artist, and I will ride his D all the way, mate. He's amazing.
Well, did you hit his number 2 up?
Booster.
Did
Hey,
you,
Kanan. No, we talked to him, dude. No, Kanan is the beast, and we'll definitely get him back in here. Unfortunately, there was a scheduling snafu with him, but we will get him in here for sure because we want to talk to Kanan White because Kanan White is the beast, isn't he, the Booster?
Absolutely.
Right.
Very yes, I agree.
Oh, yes. But what we'll do instead is since we do have Brad here and have a full panel and we have a full chat as well, what we are going to do is we're going to talk about Well, this is our last fan speak of the year, so we're going to talk about how this year was and what we anticipate for next year. So let's talk about how this
Ooh.
year was for not us specifically, but for this channel, for FanSpeak itself, and the India revival as it is. Let's go ahead and start that conversation with the mighty wisdom of the Thunder God himself, Thundaro.
I just knew you were going to start with me because it's just the wisdom you were talking about. I just knew.
It is. It is.
Um, where I see this particular channel going from here.
No, no.
Uh,
We're talking about this year, not next year. First, this
yeah,
year.
this year. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I think we're doing great, actually. I think I actually really like the direction everything's been going. Um, yeah, I mean, there's really not much more you can say about it. I think we, especially with some of the guests we've had on, and we've actually helped a lot of these people make, you know, fulfill their campaigns and things. I think we're doing
We
great.
might have gotten them one person to go to their campaign. Oh.
No, we've got more than that. Many more
Yeah,
than
it's been more than that. In fact, one of the gentlemen, I can't remember which one it was, he made a couple thousand while he was on here. So we definitely have been making an impact. I think that that's being felt. I think it's growing, and I think it's been a lot of fun so far. I think we're having a good time over here. I really like
Yep.
watching the movies. Everybody, like we're gonna do tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Cheap plug. Um, and yeah, I look forward to it growing and having even more going into the next year. I look forward to even more bigger and better guests.
Yeah. Now that was T-birded throttle, by the way.
Yeah, yes, it was. You're
Yeah.
right.
Oh yeah, cool.
All right. Well, what do you think, Pope? How's this year been for the indie revival, the extended families of Comicsgate? What do you think?
I mean, I think we've been doing pretty good. I mean, we've raised over like $550 for a fundraiser. My only
We
complaint is
did
that we need more memes and we need more bias memes. So
definitely need more
hopefully
bias memes.
in this year we can definitely get those memes going.
We need to
Yes.
start calling them memes, I feel.
No,
Yeah,
Memes.
memes, yeah. We have to call them memes from now on, or memes, yeah.
I think the bias gestures is being more bikini shots. I think that's what we need. More
oh,
bikinis. Yeah.
Yes,
wait a
more
minute.
trans Chester, please.
More. Yeah.
I
I'm
like
all
where
on
this is
board for
going.
it.
I like where this is going.
There you go. Gotta have the sexiness. Gotta have it. All right, Pope. Thank you. So, Todd, what do you think about not only this channel, your channel, the Comicsgate channels, Indie Revival, all of that? How was this year, dude?
Well, again, I've said this before. I'm kind of new. I came in about 6 months ago, and I don't know where all this angst and disparity comes from because this has been very welcoming. I've met some, people that even though I only know you through the technology of this, I will. If you were my neighbors, this would be so cool. But this is just a great
It would be.
community. I have a lot of love, especially for the people on this show,
Especially for
because
me. Thank you.
but Booster did just say his favorite artist is Kanye White. But I'm not sure why, but we won't go into that. But anyway, I'm completely floored by how fast we move things. Like, talk about moving the needle, how fast we do it, And I said this yesterday that mainstream comics are failing, and we are becoming mainstream, and I believe that. You'll and I don't just think it's a comic skate thing. I think it's a indie comics movement that these guys will eventually do. What they're going to do is own your own labor. That's a big thing. And I think you'll see, like, why do I want to draw this particular version of Spider-Man? I might as well just go do something that's even better. And you'll see a lot of people with very good talent step away and own their own labor one way or another, whether it's through Indiegogo or beginning companies or packing up with three or four other guys. I don't know if you remember one of Ethan's earliest streams was about, it's like me and this guy, and this guy. We were gonna do this, but it just didn't happen in the '90s, you know. But now we're gonna make this kind of thing happen now, and we are making this kind of thing happen now. So besides the division that you see in in this nonsense, I think once that sort of goes away, what you're going to see is more independent comics than you've ever seen in the past.
Well, thank you
Agree?
very much. It's
Yeah.
very cool. And Pope Fire, that is exactly what I'm talking about.
I love it. I love everything about it.
That is awesomeness. Pure awesome. Love it.
Thank you. I'm turned on now.
In
Oh,
fact,
goodness
we should
gracious.
make that the new icon for the channel. I
We
love
should.
everything
We
about
should.
it.
That should be it right there. But no, thanks a lot, Todd. As inspirational and as positive as you always are. That's a
But
good
do you
thing to
agree
know.
about that as far as
Of
independent
course I do.
comics?
I do
Yeah.
agree.
Okay.
There's a lot that can be done in this community, and to be fair, I think there's been quite a bit of trepidation from people. I don't think we've seen even the beginning of what this could be, because a lot of us and the pros as well, they're kind of where everybody's kind of holding back and holding their breath a little bit and say, "Is this going to work? Is this going to happen?" And I think next year is going to be quite an interesting show.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
yeah,
I wholeheartedly agree. I think Todd's assessment was right, and I
yeah.
think things are going to get big real fast.
No, I think so. Yeah. What do you think, Janelli? What's your opinion on this 2018?
Um, it's jumped in with a big splash. You know, a lot of it was talking the year before, you know, and this year it's a lot of action and movement, and we've been seeing new developments with indie, kind of like I know a lot of people in the beginning say, "Oh, this is kind of like Image, where the creator left to make their own works," but they're still in that the '90s mindset of, you know, doing the work and doing continuously. One thing we talked about, and Todd hit it in the nail earlier today, was kind of looking at the international comics, like the Japanese comics, which has a beginning, middle, and end, and that's why it's so popular with readers now. It's because it's kind of like a novel. You have a beginning, middle, and end, and it ends. And hopefully, these comics and these projects have a beginning, middle, and end, that, you know, it ends and they produce another work and it becomes the new model for us. Would be creator driven instead of character driven properties, where we're asking the creators to continuously make new projects, because you lose passion after a while as a creator working on the same thing over time. We've seen that with recently with TKO, which is focusing on creators and their properties and finishing, you know, 6 issues. We're seeing Indiegogo with all these upcoming new properties and old properties from the '90s revitalized, and it's going to be a floodgate that everybody's just weighing through, and hopefully the whole comic industry as a whole picks up on this, and instead of seeing as trepidation and fear, they embrace this as a new opportunity. That's why the people in Todd McFarlane, Jim Valentinos, and others jumped off and formed Image, because they said, you know what, I better just do my own thing and be satisfied with the work and creations that I made, instead of drawing Spider-Man, drawing Wolverines, and all that. I know that you're going to have these up and comer whose dreams were drawing that, but you'll never have the same fulfillment as drawing for your own creations. And I think a lot of people are starting to awaken and say, as much as, you know, you got that, you know, you love those characters, you always want to make your own character, and that's specifically that you made, and people read it, people enjoy it, and, you know, and talk about it. And I think that's something that we as FanSpeak are excelling slowly as we are growing, because we have grown rapidly from when we started like about 4 to 5 months ago to now. And it's only going to get better, because we are kind of determined, saying, look, we are here to promote you guys, you're the creators. This is what we want. This is, we're pointing you how to do it and succeed. You know, and we'll help you along the way in connecting with, you know, not just our community, but the broader community,
Hmm.
because we want this industry to be revitalized and to reawaken, so to speak.
All right. Well, Denali has an opinion, man. Good to
Yeah.
go, man. Well, DeWolf, let's hear yours. 2018, sir.
Star Wars and
How dare
Ethan
you,
Van
sir?
Sciver.
Yes, you're right.
I didn't say it. I did not say it. And Ethan Van Sciver. That's what I've got. Right? If it wasn't, you find just you got to dig in dirt someplace to find gold eventually, right? And that's what happened. You don't know when that thing is going to happen that all of a sudden explodes, that catches on, and actually turns into something else. And that's what happened. If it wasn't for EBS having this irate angst against a different media, and then all of a sudden realizing, hey, wait a second, something else is going on as well, and these things can be tied together, and this thing can be shifted over. That was huge. I didn't know that there was a diversity in comics. There was a your boy Zach going on, and he was pressed into making a comic book, right? And that there was these other artists and things. But what happened? YouTube happened, and they came on, and he hit the Google Hangout and invited people to come in and live stream, and all of a sudden you've got a Mike and a Mitch and a Doug Tenaple and all these people and things happening. And just 2018 exploded with something that was I mean, they called themselves Comics Gate, but that wasn't that was a finger pointing. A different thing happened, and people realized they could come together and they could support each other and make something bigger and better. And that's exactly what's happening here now. Now you have not just artists and writers that have been professional and are doing things and are still professional. Come on, guys. But now you've got fans. You've got us fans speaking, and we're coming out and we're getting involved, and has become a community thing. And it is so intrusive into my life. And we've talked about this before. This is something that's just changed, everything that we've done, our schedules, things that we've moved around. So it's just 2018. Little did I know that I was going to be here until you and Denali said, "Hey, we have an idea for something," and now this is bigger than that idea. And now we even have Bunny Vision. What in the world? Bunny Vision movie night. This technology, the ability for us to use technology, artificial intelligence, drones are going to be part of the part of FanSpeak. I don't know where this is. The finality of
live
this
to you via drone.
That's right. Yeah.
Get some popcorn is delivered, and join us at Bunny Vision movie night.
Bunny Vision movie night.
Bunny Vision movie night.
No, I agree 100%, dude. And I'm going to go to Brad here next, but I just want to take one quick moment. Now, you guys know we don't deal with the drama stuff over here. We'll certainly have a laugh at some of the nonsense we see in the news, sure, but we don't cover the drama. We don't interact with the drama because it's a bunch of nonsense. That's why we don't interact with it, because there's no need to interact with it. We're here to love comic books and talk about the indie revival and where things are going. That's what we do. But I do want to answer Nick W's point here. He said there's way too much negativity surrounding Comicsgate right now. Well, understand this. There is a small group of people that are around here, us, that are still clinging desperately to the name Comicsgate, and they are welcome to. But there's most of us, when this all started, we're like, yeah, why are you calling us Comicsgate? None of us like that name because they are Comicsgate. Mark Waid, Bon Villain, and, Mags Visaggio, just to name a few, Bendis, Diodato, these guys, they are Comicsgate, not us.
Yeah,
and they are the scandal, right? And then many of us were like, yeah, we're not Comicsgate. We're indie this. We're Team Comics, as Peter Samedi likes to say over Alterna Comics.
Alterna. Wow, I love these guys.
So do I. But I'm just saying that and the people who are clinging to Comicsgate, they're welcome to do. They are part of what's going on. It absolutely is. But that negativity is on them. That has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with this movement. It has nothing to do with the indie revival. This is about bringing out good books that are fun, that people want to read, and it's about making money off of it. That's what this is about. This is a commercial movement, right?
You did say the books. You know, we are still waiting on some books. I have gotten some of my books. I've read some of them. There's some good stories. You know, Gary's sketchbook, and I think that's what's going to be pretty cool here coming up into the next year. That more and more of these are going to be delivered, and it's going to be amazing to how this thing just explodes bigger and bigger.
So I get the concern that you have with that, Nick, but don't worry about it, man. Because most of these channels, all these fan channels, pro channels, we'll say, "Yay, Comicsgate, sure, why not?" I mean, because the movement has been labeled Comicsgate, but we're not part of that, dude. And those people who enjoy banging heads on Twitter and all that stuff, hey, more power to them. Have fun, man. I have no problem with it. Enjoy, right? But I'm just saying it's much broader than that. It's much broader.
Yeah, and there's more fans that are even coming around. I more and more often I hear people just stopping in and they in the chats and saying that they are now part of this. They're part of the community. They like what we're doing. They like what they're doing. They like seeing the artwork, the drawn in quarters, and the word is slowly spreading. And you have a revival that's going on with comics.
Yes, and I do notice that we had someone jump in here with us. We see Rise again. Hello, Rise. How you doing?
Hey guys, it's me. I'm Rise. I go by Rise again, but I'm Von Klaus. I'm doing great tonight. How are you?
I'm great. I don't know that I've ever met you before. Have I?
No, sir. I don't believe so. I was invited here by.
Yeah, he's one of the winners from the John Malin.
Yes,
he snuck on in.
I know who he is. Yeah, I just didn't. I just hadn't know if I had met him before. But yeah, well, congratulations to you, dude. You and Todd both for winning John Malin's Comicsgate artist search. We certainly appreciate you, man. We saw the art; it was really good, dude.
I am one of the writers.
All right, who was the artist then, Todd?
Render Contender.
Oh, Render Contender. Oh, I thought that was you, dude. Sorry, they both start with R.
He's also an artist. Vaughn's also an artist, by the way.
Oh well, congratulations anyway.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you, and thanks for inviting me on.
No problem. To have you come in. We were looking for people to come in, and I decided to go after the guys that also won and see who would be willing to come in. I'm glad you came.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Well, what we're doing is we're talking about the 2018. Since this is our last show of the year, and all the things that have been going on in Indie Revival and Comicsgate and all that such, and just giving our opinion on what we think the year was, and what is next year going to look like. Do you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more content and a lot more fun, and we probably have a Mark Waid lawsuit to look forward to at some point in the year.
Yeah.
And we have and I think of it as just a little mini renaissance of just creativity more than anything, because that's what makes us pushes us forward and keeps things positive and kind of fall away from the negative, because it's been way too much drama and negativity over the years. It's been like a freaking roller coaster. It used to be every day I'd wake up, I'd be like, okay, so what am I going to find today? Like when I log on, it's going to be one thing or another. But no, if anything, I think the industry is showing signs of hearing some of our criticisms and understanding that it's not, just for being spiteful or nasty. I think a lot more fans are coming together and understanding that this is people who actually genuinely love things and not what the crazy activists have to say about us being a hate movement or whatever flavor of the month enemy they're going to create. And I think it's kind of interesting because we kind of evolved from being, over the course of 2018, from being kind of a watchdog criticism movement that would call out stuff we didn't like to just fine, like let's just do it ourselves. Let's start creating. And from there, people are teaming up and making amazing things. I'm not just getting to work with John Malin and other awesome people. I'm working to make an anthology of Comicsgate creators too, with Narwhal, if you know him, who did Earthbound. So just
looks great.
Great things. Oh, Earthbound looks great. It's just great things, great people all around. People who, we're kind of finding that we're stronger together. And I think in 2019, that's just going to continue and grow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, dude, you are preaching to the choir. Because we all agree exactly. And here on this channel at FanSpeak, we're all fans, right? This is we've been saying this for a long time, and we don't really deal with that drama stuff that comes on. We kind of just keep our nose to the grindstone and talk about the comic books themselves, right? The all the things that are going on in Indicron and Indiegogo, of course. But it's very nice to meet you, dude. Well, let me continue down my panel here and let Brad have his say.
Hey guys, how's it going? 2018, how's it been this year? For me, it's been really interesting, because I came in while I was watching everything happen. I started with DNC and stuff like that. I didn't get active in the community until I started doing my own book, which was August, I think. So not very long. And, learning how to promote yourself, learning how to get your name out there, learning how to interact with everybody, finding, like-minded people who agree with you on certain subjects, certain ways of doing business, has been a great thing. It's also brought up a lot of challenges too that we are starting to become aware of as a community that we're going to have to address in the next year. Things like, fighting in the community, things like, people who want to get noticed, but don't put in the time and effort to get noticed, and then they start speaking out about things to, how are we going to get new fans? There's a lot of questions that have come up, even though we've had great success. There's a lot of questions that we need to address going forward. And I think if we can address those within the next 6 months or so, I think we can have a really stable community that grows. Because comics is ultimately currently a dead format, even though there is an indie revival going on, it is a format that is becoming more and more niche every day. I work at an LCS store. No matter, how much I try to promote it, get new readers in, things like that, it's just hard to get readers in. It's way hard. We have to find a way to change the way we are marketing ourselves. We have to find a way to come together so we can open up new doors and new paths of, fundraising, to get our books made, to get fans in the community, not just one person. We're a small community. We're all buying our own books. We're all kind of supporting each other, spreading the money around. We need to find a way to bring in outside to get kids into reading comics again, get adults who quit years ago back to spread to foreign markets where comics are read by 60% of the population, in one form or another. We have to find a way to do that. And we have to do it quickly. If we don't, we will just, fizzle and fade away. It'll become the realm of, IPs of just Marvels and DCs and things like that. Now, this is all, this is all recent stuff that we're learning. But the positives that we come to, about this year is like, we know that there is tons of people who love comics, love heroes, love creating stuff. But not all of us can create. Not all of us can, do that. Some of us, as some of us are not business minded. Some of us are tech minded. Some of us
Mm-hmm.
are have different skill sets, but we all love comics. We need to form a groups together where you know somebody has the tech, somebody has like an inker, a colorist, a penciler.
Oh, you mean
And all
like
that.
FanSpeak? Is that what you mean,
Yeah.
Brad? Yeah, like this right here.
Whoa!
I get it. Yeah,
Mm.
but we need to do that on a larger scale, though. To
Mhm.
help each other out, to start new companies, to bring that forward, so we can have a brighter future. Because even though the positivity is going now, we need to keep the momentum going. If we get all of the infighting that's happening right now, the stupid campaign battles back and forth, we're all on the same side. Why are we fighting with each other? We shouldn't be.
No, we shouldn't. And I just interjected with the we're
No,
doing
you're
here
fine, dude.
because we do. That's exactly what FanSpeak is all about. It's about
Yeah.
organizing people and bringing people together of various talents. For instance, we have the best IT guy in Comicsgate, and that is Pixel. Right? We have
Mhm.
amazing artists sitting right here on the panel with us. That's the whole thing we've been doing is collecting talent and collecting people who are inspired and want to be part of this. That is what we have been doing here, and there's a lot going on with it. Just to answer your question, none of your business over here in the chat. He says, find more female creators before they sour to the industry. Yeah, so that's a good point. Just to make one on the project that Todd and I are working on together, Tales from Beyond the Gate, and we have a lot of prose, and we have a lot of. It's an anthology book. I'm writing some of those stories in that book, and one of the artists that I'm working with that is Kat, and she's a great artist. So getting more females involved, they are around, and the good thing about it over here, we're more than willing to take anybody and to do anything because this is a meritocracy. It's about what can you do, not who are you, right? So that is definitely a good point, and we are doing that very thing. But thank you very much, Brad. And I want to come to the last person on the panel, then have their opinion on 2018 and maybe a little bit into 2019. What do you think, Booster?
Depends how much of an unfiltered opinion you want here.
Okay, you want me to raise the rating for you? Go ahead. PG-13. Go for it.
PG-13.
Uh-oh.
All right. How was 2018? It started off strong with Jawbreakers, let me tell you. I love Visiting Comics. Zach is a great dude.
Mhm.
I love what he does. His videos, they're cheap, they're silly, and Zach is a weird, eccentric guy, but there is something, he is so bloody lovable, and he has this infectious enthusiasm for everything he does. That's why Jawbreakers was such a hit. He was hyping this up for so long that uh, that everyone felt the enthusiasm he had for it and just threw their money at him. Yeah. And that's what absolutely
It's
kicked off
true.
the indie revival. Was people noticed that Indiegogo was a viable platform to rush to while the money was hot. And I don't know if the money's hot at the moment because I do feel a lot of that money was fueled by drama and infighting, right?
I don't think so. I don't
I,
agree at all.
I do feel that some money was fueled by drama, really, and it will slowly burn out because people will get burnt out by it. Seriously, delete your Twitters, guys. I deleted my Twitter. I hate it. I think it's a toxic platform. So yeah, I do think 2018 was a rough ride because in some regards we had some great projects coming out, and we've had some sloppy projects, sure, and we're also having deadlines that aren't being met, right? I think it makes us look bad because we've been criticizing the other side and some of their Kickstarters for a very long time as to their late campaigns. And sure, I think some of those are just never coming out. That's the problem with those ones. Well, our ones, I hope, will just be a few months late. I hope that's the difference. If any of these Indiegogos end up not coming out at all, just one even, I think it'll make us look bad. I'm concerned with that.
Well, here's the thing with that. You know what? When I finally looked back at all the different campaigns and sort of what was there when they launched, and I was really shocked and surprised that so many of these guys went to Indiegogo without a page drawn, and I think that is not the model.
No.
Announce, do your YouTubes, create a base, and then when you actually launch to IndieCron or Indiegogo, have more than half your book inked, at least, so that you have plenty of pages to show. Show some quiet pages, show some action pages. And you know what? None of this will ever come into question. Even if you are a little bit late, because maybe you waited for a colorist who had an opening in his schedule, but not right away, or whatever
Oh,
it is.
those damn colorists. Right.
This will be the thing that pushes us over the edge, is if we do it that way, if we do it smartly and not just haphazardly.
At the end of the day, this community needs to get their bloody stuff sorted and come together, stop the infighting. It's getting a little ridiculous. That's why we love to not cover the drama at all here, and that's why I love FanSpeak.
Awesome.
And we don't.
kind of-
You and Brad just keep wanting bringing it up. Thank you very much, Booster.
I'm sorry.
I kind of don't even know that
like-
there is drama sometimes because I don't really pay attention to it. And what I think is really good is that when you do actually become positive and you clear the air, things are so much nicer. But then what happens is you get good dog press, which of course brings in Unbreathable Skunk Girl. And then bam, we can't clear the air because it is such a great character. I love seeing the Unbreathable Skunk Girl. I don't know what it is about her. I want to see more of this. I want to see this book coming out almost as much as I want to see Ignition.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's
And
true. There's a lot of good
you also-
projects.
You also have to remind about timing. Timing. Because if you put in the wrong time and you're one of the small upstarts creators, or you're just entering this arena, so to speak, and you try to sell your thing, you're going to have a harder time at the wrong season. Everything has their season.
We're going to break through that hurdle with quality.
Oh, yeah.
Timing is going to eventually
Right.
matter.
Yeah.
So once we filter out, once we just put our best foots forward and realize, okay, this stuff is ready, and this guy's ready, and this team over here is ready, and we not every Joe can make comics, but if you're willing to learn and put in the hard work, we can help you with your book and your campaign. We're going to put more quality into Indiegogo, and you're going to see a lot more quality on Indicron. And once we do that, we will break through that whole December's not a good month, or this isn't a good. We're going to crush that.
Well,
Right.
hopefully, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. But
Right.
Pixel Trader says that 2018 was the shot heard round the world. 2019 is where we show this wasn't a one-off situation, but a complete shift. I hope so, dude. Kat is here. She says, "What are you guys talking about?" Well, we were talking about you, actually, in a very positive way, of course, Kat. P.S. Melter says, even if you do find it finished, it's about time. Hero Book 1 made a bad timing. I don't know what he's talking about here. But
He's talking about Hero, remember?
Hero.
Chirp.
Yeah.
I forgot how to pronounce it.
Oh yeah, but the whole thing covering with projects being late, I think it's more like we were talking earlier about Kickstarter and the board gaming world. Having things being late is something you just get used to. I think we have a lot of people that haven't done these kind of things before, and it being just a little bit late, it kind of it triggers you, I guess, if I want to use a progressive word. But I think more importantly than being on time, which it should be on time, you should do your best. I think you should keep the people informed. See, the projects that keep the people say, hey, this is what's going on, this is why we're late, and they keep talking to us over in the board gaming world, no one has any trouble with it. We're all supportive. Yeah, do your best, because this is a Kickstarter, and the Indiegogo is a Kickstarter, right? We are supporting your effort to become something. And therefore you understand that and you think that. But when you have projects that don't respond, don't say things, don't do stuff, you get a lot of anger and you get a lot of noise, even though they might eventually come out sooner than the ones who are communicating with you. It comes down to communication. And that's the most important thing. Of course, we want everyone to be on time, but this is a new thing. You got a lot of these creators, even these pros, these guys don't know how to do all the ins and outs. They have an understanding, but they're just artists working for DC, Marvel, Image, whatever. They don't know exactly how to do all that stuff. Of course, it's going to be a little late. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of problems like that. But for me, that's the least problem. As long as they're communicating and talking to us, like Mike Miller, he's been very upfront. And he was very little late anyway. But he's been communicating with us. That's no problem. In my opinion, I don't think it's that big a deal. So I would kind of say calm down on that. But in general, I think that 2018 was a great year, and I'm very happy the Booster mentioned Richard C. Meyer because although it was Captain Cummings actually that brought me into this whole thing, it was Richard that got me inspired by it. And it's unfortunate he made a decision not to take the reins because he could have, but he still should, yes. But he inspired us. And then you had people like Ethan and Mike, and you have Doug TenNapel, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mitch Breitweiser. There's been so many bright spots, and there's been, I don't know, I've backed, 20 projects so far? I mean, how many are you up to, Denelli? I know you got a lot more than me.
Oh, boy.
About 40.
About 40, yes. He doubled me. And when I say, the other day I said, I spent this much money, people were like, oh my God, Chester, it's amazing. I was like, no, dude. I'm like in the middle. It's people like Denelli spent a lot of money. Yeah.
I back free projects.
I wanted
That's
to say
okay.
one thing real quick. We were talking earlier about the label Comicsgate, how it really should be applied to the pros in the mainstream industry, because that was the idea.
Yeah.
But they gave it to us as a smear, basically. It doesn't matter what they call us, because at the end of the day, what we are is what they've been afraid of for you. We are the correction. We are the thing that is going to fix the market, or if the market's just going to die. It is the last chance, and this is dramatic, but it's true. We are the last chance at saving this industry and saving this cultural icon in America, especially known as the comic book industry, especially the superhero genres, and just the industry in general. And they know that.
Correction.
They won't admit it.
Correction, like that white fluid that you shake out of the bottle.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so glad you said bottle.
I kind of like that idea, actually, more than thinking about it. Is that's what we should call ourselves, the comics correction, because we're correcting at least that's the goal, is to correct all the problems that they've created in the industry over the years. And this is a huge problem all the way to the distribution, and we're working on it. We have people like Pixel who's working on a method of basically setting people up, like the comment he said in here, where he said one thing he wants to talk about, suggesting people have as much done as possible prior to launching the campaign. At the very least, you need five full pages, penciled, ink, colored, and lettered.
No,
and the idea behind that is to make sure you're ready to present, and people know what you got coming. And then he also said tomorrow he's going to be making some big announcements. My goodness, if I could read tonight, on the details to help with the quality, printing, and fulfillment.
Yeah.
We've been talking about these things privately, of course. We know more of what's coming than most people, but it's coming. And 2019 is going to be absolutely huge. I don't want anybody to undersell what's coming here, because here's what's going to happen. Most of these big pros are either going to get their stuff together or they're going to be gone. It's that simple. The market will correct itself, and that's what we have to represent, and that's what FanSpeak, in my opinion, does represent. There's no middle ground anymore. As Brad was saying, the industry's on the very edge of just utter collapse. So we're either going to correct it now going forward, or that'll be it. And if that's it, that's it. There's nothing you can do, nothing you can say, but at least we're going to try. Let it not be said that nothing was done at the very end. Let it not be said no one ever tried.
Yes. Nice quotes. Gary Shipman is here. Hello, Gary. We're always happy to have the Shipman in here. And I do want to take a moment to go back to Rise. You kind of fell into the middle of a full-on conversation, dude, but I do want you to have some opportunity to speak. So you have anything to add to what you've been listening to?
I'm agreeing with all of this, and I think that I'm really actually impressed by everyone's understanding of what needs to be done and how we're going to make that work. I'm just looking forward to that in 2019. Me, on the end of the day, I'm just an artist, man, and I'm putting out my book in February on Indiegogo, and that's what's on my mind. But when it comes to course correcting the industry, I mean, how badass is it that the fans themselves take it into their own hands these days and have the means to do that? I just think that's amazing.
It is cool, dude, and it's an amazing thing, and I'm very happy with the all the people who are part of FanSpeak and all of you in the chat that come and support us every day and interact with us, give us ideas, give us your opinions, and come up here and join and give your opinion because this is FanSpeak. But I'm also very happy with this team, this core team that I put together. There's a lot of knowledge here, a lot of understanding of comics in general, and people
And
who
Booster.
can. And Booster. Well, we need the comedy relief, but we it's people who can take their ideas and opinions and put them forward insightfully, and I'm very happy with what we've built here in 2018 with FanSpeak in particular, and I'm very excited to see where this is going to go. I see that my brother is actually coming to the chat. He says hello, all, and I say hello to my brother, who I have not spoken to in a couple of months, and I'm going to be quite stern with him later. But
I want to add something to my best advice to all people listening who desire to be creators. All right, put together your team and pick them wisely, because get off the sidelines and realize this is not rocket science. If it's put your passion into it, put some fun into it, and that'll show more than anything else. And you know what? There's nobody that can't do this. Okay. And sometimes groundbreaking work is done by just trying to be a little off center, a little bit different. You know what I mean? And when we use the term, this is a term I want to talk a little bit about. Is 90% of all these books are all age books. So when a book like Hero or a book like Stickman joins us and it's an all age book, and you go, oh, that looks like something for kids. No, it's an adventure story drawn in a style that would appeal to kids, but it's not a kid's book. Because Spider-Man was an all age. These are all age books. All of them are, unless the material dictates that it's not. Oh, we go. Gary coming in with his YouTube on.
That's what happened.
we always know Gary's got to come in and do that.
You'll get mature material, and it'll certainly show right in the work that you or what you read about it on Indiegogo, whatever. But you know what? All the other things that don't say all ages really are all ages, because it's meant to be fun for everybody, or an adventure for everyone, or a sci-fi adventure for everyone. So those books suffered a little bit from the tag. Go ahead.
I got to piggyback on you. I got to piggyback on this, and because FanSpeak is exactly the thing. I heard people say, if you want to do something, if you think you're creative, you have an idea, just do it. And that's exactly what Chester Busby did. I'm going to toot our horn a little bit here. Chester said, hey guys, you want to do something, and we started. And we started with one simple idea, and then we are creative. We're fans, but we're also creative. And we said, hey, can we do this better? Can we do something else? And we did something different. And then we did Tuesday nights. And then we changed something to the basement. And we did Bunny Vision Movie Night. And we keep doing more and things, being creative, and it is changing things, making things better. It's awesome. And then, of course, in the meantime, Chester, has gotten involved in something. I have my hand in two different works of creativity. One was inspired from something else. The other one was directly something that I wanted to do. And I said, hey, I can do this. And hopefully, that's the thing about 2019. You're going to see what Chester and Denali and myself even have thought up to do.
That's right. No, I'm very pleased with 2018. It was great, and 2019 is going to be better. And we have Mr. Gary Shipman himself, the art phenom, is in here, and Gary is going to unmute himself, and he is going to tell us what he thinks of 2018, which I know was a great year for him. So why don't you tell us about it, Gary? You got to shut off YouTube.
Hey. I don't have YouTube on.
Apparently you do.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
okay,
we can hear you.
Nobody's just like
Gary
said.
Gary.
Yeah, go ahead, Gary. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I don't have YouTube on. I came on the right way. So if you guys are hearing it weird, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you fine. But we can hear ourselves.
That is That is most excellent. Let me shut this off real quick. Okay, so maybe now you can hear me better.
Yes.
There you go. Now
Can
that's
anyone hear me?
perfect. We hear you just fine, Gary.
You're all set, buddy.
Boomer inbound,
Hello?
guys. Go ahead, Gary. Speak to us, man.
I'm gonna have to go off and come back on. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
No,
You're
no,
fine.
You're good.
We can hear
Don't.
Oh, Gary. That's right. Let him come back in. We love Gary, but he certainly is not the tech savvy fella. But Gary is absolutely wonderful human being, and I'm sure most of all of us in here know that. If you have not gone over to Gary's channel, please
Okay.
do so, because it is absolutely wonderful. Go ahead, Gary. Now we can hear you. We can see you. Tell us what you think of 2018, sir.
2018
Mhm.
was great.
Come on, Gary. Give me some love, man.
I think 2018 was groundbreaking. It was amazing. I couldn't believe the resurgence for fans. I haven't heard really anything that you guys have been talking about. I heard someone saying that somebody said something about the fans coming in and recreating the industry. I think it was Fundaro. And then I asked in the chat, who is he quoting? Who said that? I mean, because it's interesting. I feel like that's what 2018 is all about. It's the fans kind of taking this thing into their own hands. And it's awesome.
It is awesome, dude. And so are you. Your sketchbook has got out to everybody. And of course, you have plans for 2019 for sure. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, 2019, I'm already started. I've been streaming, doing the creation of one of the pages for the Packinsland Omnibus.
Ooh.
It's scheduled to come out in 2019. Not all the sketchbooks are done. I'm almost done. I'm days away from completely fulfilling everything on my first Indiegogo campaign. And it could happen tomorrow. If not tomorrow, it'll happen Monday. Go to
what Gary Shipman did. Gary Shipman, in his sketchbook, he has drawn and quartered pages in there. And as I'm flipping through it, down in the corner, it says, "This is the page that I did for drawn and quartered, show number 2 on this date." And I went, "Whoa, cool!" And then I flipped the page over and I saw Mulan, and Dazzler saw Mulan, and the other and her sibling, and they're going and screaming and going wild. By the way, Gary is a big hit amongst the kids. And then I flipped the page again, and there was another one, another drawn and quartered, and it was almost like this Comics Gate kind of drawn and quartered memory lane thing that I was going through the sketchbook that I did not expect. It was awesome to see. I hope more people take things from the past, from 2018, compile them together and put them in there with their own little stories that would be cool in little sketchbooks, and it would it's really awesome. Thank you, Gary, for a great product, and that my kids just kept going on and on about, by the way.
Oh, I'm really happy to hear that. I'm hoping that the majority of people have gotten their things. I asked Denali today if he received his, and he said he had not. So I went and looked at the tracking, and I guess it hasn't quite gotten to him yet. So it's probably that's the case for a number of people. But I'm glad you got yours.
Cool. Well, I'm in Japan.
And
I expect to be the last one. So
yeah, you will be the last one.
yes, that's okay. I'm fine with that. I am a patient bear.
Excellent.
For sure. No, but yeah, guys. I mean, we're coming to the end of the show here, and 2018 was awesome. I had a lot of fun. I did something I never thought I would do. I created a YouTube channel. How did that happen? I mean, I've been going about the internet, doing my things on and on, just busy with my life and my businesses and my kids and stuff, and all that you do as a father and a husband. But I never thought I'd have a YouTube channel. But here I am with a YouTube channel, and I have well over 100 videos, and I got a bunch of new friends that I didn't have a year ago. I've met so many people, how many amazing artists and writers, people that I have appreciated and respected for my whole life. that I have met and spoken to. How amazing is that? How amazing is this community that it's so accessible? And I just 2018 is one of the best years I've had in a long time, man, and it was a lot of fun. And I am absolutely just psyched and energized for 2019 because there's so many cool things coming, and it's going to be cool, dude. So thank everybody here on the panel. I appreciate all of you, not only for the knowledge you bring and the insight that you had a lifetime has created in you, but just for your friendship as well. And that extends over to the chat. You guys are awesome.
Stop it! I'm gonna cry.
Well, dude, it's true, man. This is reality, right? And it's been a wonderful year. I mean, look at all the people we've met, all the friends we've made. Some really, really good people, you know. And it's cool for me, and it's also nice for me because I get to actually speak English. That's nice.
Well,
it's true.
The ulterior motive the whole time.
It was. It was
Oh,
actually
no.
motive.
Australia.
Yeah. Well, Booster doesn't really speak English very well, but
Right.
I
nevertheless.
speak very good England. Get out of here.
But thank you guys very much, and we do have a couple people on here that have actually their own links, so I want to let them have a chance to tell everybody where you can find them. But of course, the rest of us guys here, we're all FanSpeak, and you can find us with the links which are not down below because we had so much trouble earlier. But I will go in after the show and put them in. But you know where to find us. Go over to Facebook, go to FanSpeak there. You can find me at Chester C. Busby III or Chester Busby anywhere. Let's go over first to Rise. Why don't you tell us, Rise? You said you had a book coming out, and why don't you tell us what that book is and tell people where they can find you, dude? Go ahead.
All right, thanks, bud. I have a book coming out this February on Indiegogo. It is called Monster MD. It is the what would it be like to be a doctor to the local monsters? And we're not talking about like a nice office and everything with lollipops. We're talking about like an underground mafia doctor who is in a lab on wheels, just kind of hiding out and trying to help out monsters without getting eaten day by day.
That's a good idea, dude. I like that idea.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
It really kind of wrote, you know how like it sounds cliche when writers say, oh, it just wrote itself. Well, this was the first thing I ever wrote where it felt like it wrote itself because the jokes just came, but the drama and the kind of the horror too, because I love all of that stuff. It all came really naturally and made for a really great story. He and his surgical assistant, Heidi H. Hyde, who is also an invisible woman, worked every day to help out the monsters, and he himself has a little bit of monster in him because one of his arms was taken off and replaced with an undead one, which ends up kind of having powers of its own. You end up discovering. So yeah, it's a fun project I've been working on for forever. Love it to death. Everyone who reads it seems pretty charmed and is laughing. So I can't wait to share it with everyone. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at Rise Again on Twitter. My name is Von Klaus, if that helps with your search. And I have a YouTube channel that I'm neglecting way too much, but I hope to get back on that in 2019.
Awesome, dude, and that's a great idea. And also, I'm sure you've heard of Indicron. Of course, Pixel is here as part of FanSpeak, and we are definitely support Indicron every day, as we should. But Pixel would very much like to communicate with you and have Monster MD as part of his upcoming. So you should get in touch with Pixel Trader, please.
That would be great. I'd be honored.
Yeah. That sounds good. Glad to meet you, man. Anytime you're welcome to come over and have a chat with us, man.
I
thanks,
actually
man.
sent them the Discord invite. And,
yeah, there you go. Yeah, join us, dude.
That sounds great. Yeah, thank you for letting me just kind of come in blind. I didn't even know what I was getting into, but it turns out something to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, we really appreciate you coming.
Yeah, dude, and it's okay. We've been doing this long enough that we're semi-professionals, I would say, maybe.
Well,
we're pretty professional. I'm super professional.
Semi-pro.
Semi-pro.
Around.
At least
Well, we
single.
do.
At least single A ball.
We need the Booster. Booster is wonderful. He's our comedy relief. He's our rub bunny.
Yeah, Booster's always semi-hard.
Slay.
Did I forget to take 13 ranking off? I should have lowered that. I forgot. Oh goodness. All right, Brad, why don't you go ahead and tell us tell the folks where they can find you, dude.
You can reach me on Pencil for Life on my YouTube channel, where I am with Chester a couple days a week. Sundays and usually Wednesdays. Reviewing comics on Wednesdays, and Sundays will be previews. And coming up, we've got Peter Cibetti, and we've got Troy with us again from Previews Magazine. So
that's gonna be good.
January 6th. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter. Usually pretty active. Just Pencil for Life. So I got a poll going, by the way, on my Twitter. Check it out. Please let me know what I could do to help improve my channel. So
there you go. And that is interesting to mention. That's true. That is
a question for you, Brad. It's give me a wrench. That'll make it better automatically.
It will make it better. Sure. Always give Thunder a wrench so he can beat people about. But yeah, Brad, that's actually a good point. And to mention with 2018, we shouldn't forget we got the ear of Diamond Distribution. That in itself is amazing. It is, dude. That's important, I think. But anyway, let's continue with this. And Gary, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, and trust that our moderators are dropping your link as we speak.
Yeah, my name is Gary Shipman. I am the creator of the comic book series Packins Land that was done back in the 90s, back when comics were cool. And I did it because I wanted to read a book that I wanted to read. I got sick of after the 80s happened and the 90s and beyond. I just got tired of everything that was being produced, and I thought I want to produce something that I would want to read and would feel good about if somebody else read it. So it's Packins Land, and I have a YouTube channel, Gary Shipman Artist Pro, or Mr. G Ship, all one word. You can find me there. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter. Yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, and 2019 is the year that I'm going to release the 400 plus page omnibus of Packins Land. It's all old material. It's going to be huge. It's been a dream of mine to do for many years, to put it all in one big collection, mostly because of my youngest daughter. She said, "Dad, I want it all in one big book." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm working on it. And so all these years, she's like 14 now, and she was a little girl. She still wants it in a one big book. And I'm like, "Okay, we're getting close, honey. We're getting close." So I'm even doing new pages on my live stream channel. I'm going to be doing some like right now when I get off of here. So if you want to come over and see how I do my drawing process, you're welcome to come. And thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, dude, you are always welcome, man. Matter of fact, we need to just have Gary in the Discord itself. We need to take care of that. Maybe Todd or Thundera can take care of that for me, please. But yeah, guys, what a great year. Next year's gonna be awesome. Thank you guys for all your support. In the chat and here on the panel, it's just been really great. But as always, we have to end the show, and we always end it with the wisdom of Denali. The Denali Lama shall speak.
Well, thank you everybody for this last fan speak of the year. That doesn't mean that we won't be doing shows for the next couple of days either. So we'll stay tuned for tomorrow for Bunny Vision Movie Night, where we see the Richard Donner Superman
Bunny Vision
at 8 p.m. Eastern. Join us on Sunday while we're reviewing some of our reading lists that we're reading currently, whether it's just recent from the pull list from the recent issues off the racks, or things that we revisited. So join us. See if you're interested with what we're reading, and if you're inspired, tell us stuff that you're reading as well, so we can check it out and be interested in it as well. Because we're all fans, and we want to say, hey, this is the stuff I'm reading. Check it out. But as always, your perception shapes your reality, so always make it a good one.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Laters.
Bye.
Later, everybody.
Later. Happy New Year.